Hey there YouTube, 16th Remix here. Before you ask, my shirt is all weird, so yes, I know the lines aren't perfectly straight. I bought it that way, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Today I thought I would just do a casual vlog and do the 2013 survey that Alex Day posts every single year. I have my iPhone here and I'm gonna read off the questions. I thought I would do this video to kind of jumpstart me back into vlogging because I miss it, and it's just during the school year been very tough to do, and now that I'm out of school forever, I thought I would just start up and start making more videos. Here we go, looking at the list right now. Here we go. Before I begin, I'm going to list all the questions below if you would like to answer this. Question number 1, what's your biggest fear? I know this is so stereotypical, but my biggest fear is probably of darkness because it is endless and terrifying, and as much as I love the horror genre, darkness is like the scariest thing ever. Monsters live in it, scary people live in it, but also Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts told me to fear darkness, to not give in to it, so I told myself I would never do that. Question number 2, how did you find out that Santa wasn't real? One of my best friends growing up used to tell me like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, stuff like that just wasn't real and that I should grow up. Mind you, she was telling me this from like the age of 7 on. One of the things she kept doing was telling me that Santa wasn't real, repeatedly, especially around Christmas. So finally one year, I just got so sick of it, I went up to my mom and asked her a billion times if Santa wasn't real. And eventually she told me that Santa wasn't real, and this broke my heart for a little bit, but I eventually moved on, and now that girl and I are no longer friends. Question number 3, what's the best idea you've ever had? I feel like this is very difficult to answer, especially because I want to write books for a living, so ideas are like they're everywhere. I have so many ideas. I at least want to write 10 books right now as I'm looking at this camera. But then we also have like impromptu ideas that you get, like going to Otakon randomly and buying tickets 3 days before and then driving down on a Thursday when you should be at work. I did that last summer, it was a lot of fun. But I would have to say that my greatest idea, because it kind of left a legacy, was to recreate the Writers Guild at my old college. This helps not only me, but a lot of other writers at my school, especially the ones that weren't English majors who just wanted to talk to other people about writing. And it also taught me how to be a leader because I was the vice president when it first started up and I eventually became the president. It was a lot of fun to be a part of that. Question number 4, most embarrassing thing your parents ever did? This is difficult because growing up my parents weren't around a lot. I was mainly watched by my grandma because my mom and my dad worked all the time. I'm gonna answer this with a memory of my grandma instead because I really don't have any embarrassing memories of my parents, even like in front of family members. They've never been like, oh, look at this naked photo of them when they were 3. That being said, the memory I have with my grandma was either when I was like 5 or 6 or 7. I used to get bullied on the way home from school on the school bus, and these boys would not let up. There was 2 of them, 2 to 3, but I do remember 2 of them specifically, and they used to like just call me stupid, which you weren't supposed to say when we were that young. And they also used to they called me names. I think they got as far as pulling my hair, and I do remember them pushing me. I remember them squishing me on the seat and barely allowing me to sit, to the point where I fell into the aisle while the bus was moving, which was totally not safe. I used to get off the bus and I would sometimes cry, and my grandma would be there and she'd just listen, and she used to get so mad to the extent that one day she just walked onto the bus and threatened the boys. They did continue to bully me eventually, like a few months later, but it died down for those few months, and in those few months a lot of people stopped seeing me as Kristen. They started seeing me as Grandma Dee's granddaughter. Question number 5. If you were only to pick one career for the rest of your life, what would it be? The career I would pick would have to be writing. Now, I've kind of expressed this already in this video, and I think I've expressed this before, but I want to be a writer. I've wanted to be a writer since I was 12. I didn't really know it until I was about 17, which was when I started to read Rochelle Mead books. If you don't know who she is, she made the Vampire Academy books. She's currently doing Bloodlines. I used to read her blog. This was before she was as big as she is now. She used to blog about Obama and her cats, and it was really silly, but I get to see like the ins and outs of being an author and like their ordinary life, and I realized that it was perfectly possible for you to live a decent life. So that was when the gears started turning, and then I realized, oh, I don't want to be this or that, I want to be a writer. And I eventually went on to college, and I graduated from college with creative writing as my major. That being said, I've already given up other things in order to do writing. I've come to an understanding that I could never really be an architect because as much as I love it, I'm not as passionate for that as I am for creative writing. I feel like my stories could have a great impact on society as it is, and if I was to do architecture, I feel like a piece of me would die. Like, as crazy as that sounds, because I tried it and it just was so grinding and it just got to me, and it was all this math and it was all these numbers, and if you were a little bit off, the entire house is off. And with creative writing, you have that problem too, but it's a lot more fun to overcome. It's a lot more creative to do that, and it kind of just makes me smile. And I really couldn't picture myself doing anything but writing. So that's been the YouTube survey 2013. I hope you all enjoyed that, because I thought it was a lot of fun to answer these questions. Now I get to tag people. I'm gonna tag 2 people I know. I'm gonna tag Ribbit1213, aka Crystal, aka Crystal. The other friend I'm gonna tag is Emery Simo. She hasn't made a video yet. Who knows if she'll even see this video, but I thought that this would be a great way for her to start YouTubing, because I know she likes YouTube and she's been debating on making YouTube videos, so maybe this will be it. Maybe this will be your first step. I find myself not looking at the lens all the time, and I apologize if I wasn't doing that this entire video. Whoops! Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be seeing you soon, maybe. Bye! Click!